Top of the day to you. I hope all is well as you went to and fro on this earth. Um, it is a awesome blessing to stand here before you or sit here before you and to converse with you on this inspirational journey on this day. So our word is for today. We're still facing ourselves. We're still trying to build ourselves up as we enter into this new year, this new cycle in our lives. So we are here to offer encouragement, offer steps to be a better us. We tired of being in the same old way, doing the same old thing. And the best thing that we could do is face self. Self-evaluate selves to figure out what is it that we could do in order to empower ourselves, to move to the next step, to be all who we were created to be. Okay? So today is about wisdom. How to have wisdom. And once you have wisdom, you have to have understanding of that wisdom. But in order to have wisdom, we have steps. There's always stages and steps to everything in life. Okay. So we can start off with just understanding about wisdom. Wisdom is, not something that we can get like a badge. We go and like, oh, I have, been through all this education and now I have wisdom. It's not like that. So wisdom is something that we can grow into. The more that you feed your self and knowledge and understanding, then that's wisdom. That way you will know, what to do with all the knowledge that you have, and you take that knowledge and now you have that tool to use it with that wisdom because you got understanding of how to use your tools now. All right. So how can we build our wisdom? First, you have to learn to pause before reacting. That's one way. Sometimes I just like go off and just react, without thinking, and we do that a lot, in life. So why we don't rush. Wise people don't rush. They create a tiny little gap, to understand about stimulating between response. So whenever you're in situations, sometimes you just sit back and you just take a moment, breathe, or you think before you answer. Sometimes, before I know it, I'm just popping off, just saying things without first thing that comes to my mind, it just comes out my mouth. So that sometimes is good if I know what I'm saying, and then sometimes it's not as considered according to, that is not considered as good wisdom. Sometimes you could just take your time and, oh, okay, well, look, we have knowledge that's came in to help us along our way. We have, it says knowledge is having the tools and wisdom is using the tools correctly. We want to thank you very much. We see that the rock is here and he helping us with our knowledge, and sharing is caring. And that's what we're here. We're here on this journey to share wisdom and knowledge. It's not like, oh, I have all the answers, and we come in, and that's the reason why we can collaborate together. We can come and we can enjoy this time together because sharing is caring. And now iron sharpens iron. One person sharpens another person. Now we both have wisdom and we both have knowledge and we both have growth in life. So thank you for that, for correcting or adding to. Thank you. Okay, so now we just learned to pause and we react. We learned to pause before reacting. We listen more than speak. Um, Not no reply, but to understand. So sometimes, like, I used to be very impatient, and when I talk to people, I just like, hurry up, give me an answer. I need to hear. I need to hear it now. But then sometimes I don't get that response, and I get anxious. But it's just like sometimes people need to, have a moment to meditate, to think before speaking, because it could be the wrong thing, the wrong answer. All right. You seek truth, not validation. So wisdom grows when you're willing to be wrong, update your beliefs, and let reality teach you. So with that, some people it's hard for them to say that they're wrong, about a situation. Just like the situation I just had. Oh, what? This answer is much better. It says knowledge is having the tools. Wisdom is using the tools correctly. And we never did think about that. We know it's good to get knowledge and it's good to get understanding. But once you get then what are you going to do with it? You have to have the wisdom in order to use the knowledge that you receive correctly. So we could read, but if we don't have, the wisdom to, do with the instructions that we are given, what to do with it. If we don't have that wisdom, what good is that? What good is all that knowledge and we don't even know what to do with it? Study wisely. So you have history, you have philosophy, psychology, spiritual science. Wisdom comes from connecting ideas across domains. So therefore, not only one thing that you should um, invest in or you should go and conquer a study, you need to look at all aspects. Who said that the spiritual way is the right way? But even with that spiritual way, you still would need some type of history, a foundation. Like um, I used to do Sunday school. So therefore, whenever I did, I read the lesson, but I also did like what background. You would do background um, studies and stuff to get about what happened during that time, during that era, because we was not there. That's been years and years ago. Things happen, and you have to look at their situation in that time zone, what was happening to them in order, you know, um, to have a better understanding. Same thing with my ancestors. I used to be like hard on my ancestors, like I don't understand why, how did they, whatever, but I don't know their situations. I don't know what they had to deal with, what kind of wisdom and tools that they had in order to survive, in order to make it. And as they passed on down to generation through generation, what is the right thing and how to's and the wisdom and the knowledge to know the difference. Study widely. So that's how you do it. When you study widely, you take that wisdom that comes from connecting all aspects, the psychology, the spirituality, the history, and you put those together to come up with the wisdom in order to have a better understanding of how to go forth correctly. All right. So then you're going to reflect on all your experiences. So if you had experiences, that's wisdom. Because, like, what if you failed and you kept doing the same thing over and over, and have you learned any type of wisdom from it? You experienced this, but you have not learned the wisdom in order to go by in order to do something correctly. That's the same thing whenever we're putting together toys, desks, instruction. We do the instructions, but if we don't read them and understand them correctly, what are we doing with this wisdom? We just reading it or we looking at it, but we're not using it correctly. All right. So then you're going to develop yourself. So after you understand and you expand, your own to others, this wisdom begins to, make you a better person. Therefore, you don't make the same mistakes over and over because now you're a wise person. You don't learn from what you used to do versus what you were doing before. Okay. And then with that wisdom, you stay humble. Humility keeps you with your mind open. It's not arrogance. Whenever you receive a lot of wisdom and with this understand, it pretty much kind of make you humble because now you see a better view, a better look out on life of what it is. All right. So there having wisdom, it just makes life much simpler. You can have different um, formulas and different things in order to incorporate this wisdom. Every day we use wisdom. Okay, well, some of us, let me correct this. Not everybody use their wisdom, even though they know the difference and they have it, but not everybody think wisely whenever it comes to different situations in life. Sometimes people just choose not to um, be wise, you know, but it does help your life a lot. So as we build daily or weekly, we build a routine to strengthen our wisdom. All right. This should be become a habit rather than just an idea. So every day we could just plan and participate to grow our wisdom. This is something to help us as we begin to face ourselves and to help grow ourselves and get ourselves to the point that we need to be. Okay, you have books that you need to explore. You have Google and different search mechanisms that you could use in order to make yourself wise. But once you do that, you have to apply it. You have to apply it. Okay, let's see. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in fruit salad. That is funny. That is so funny, but it is true. And it's just as simple as that. That is so hilarious. Knowledge is knowing a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Okay, some people don't even know that tomato is a fruit. Or cashews. People don't know cashews is a fruit. It's just so much thing. And see, this is knowledge, but sometimes people don't use it as wisdom. And we do that daily and every day. Thank you for that laughter. We needed that little break. Oh, yes. We want to thank The Rock for being here to help us along our way in order to collaborate with life, in order to help us be a little bit more wiser than we are. We appreciate that. So if we want to start doing a routine when it comes to wisdom, what about like setting our mind up for success by, taking maybe 5 or 10 minutes out of our day, or in the morning time? Because sometimes I do this in the morning time. I'll look at the daily bread and I see what kind of scripture it is, or I'll go through like, affirmation. I do a daily affirmation in order to help me along my way. So I read that little short passage, and sometimes it helps stretches the way that I think. It'll motivate me. Or I have my little ride music, a motivation song that would, give my mind a different set in order to be more, or to explore, a better walk on this earth as I go to and fro. Okay. And it just helps me develop what kind of person that I want to be for that day. That is being wise. All right. So around about midday, what about practicing maybe 1 or 2 things? All right. And doing that time, you want to kind of like meditate on yourself to see how far you came. Okay, so this morning you done had your affirmations, you done had your little daily scriptures or your daily motivation, and okay, about midday, how far have you came to set that, goal, to reach that goal? Have you, veered a little further, or what have you done with that knowledge? Have it brought you wisdom? And so you want to kind of, be a code checker to yourself, check yourself to see, are you still on the right road, or did you veer off? All right. So notice about your emotions, your thoughts, and how you react to different things. And that is wisdom and knowledge, versus, okay, yesterday I was like really, really just frantic. And so today, that evening yesterday, I came and I meditated on myself. So then I know the next day not to make those same foolish mistakes. That's wisdom. So what I did before and it didn't work, I kept, having issues, not getting further in life. But then I looked and I meditated on it. And so then the next day I know, okay, don't do this, don't do that. So I took that wisdom took that knowledge that I learned from my mistakes, and now I applied it to myself. So that is what we call wisdom. All right. So after I notice all that, then I look at myself, that am I responding to the intentions or reacting to the same old habits that I have? Or have I grown? Have I, experienced this wisdom and this growth that I'm intentionally to help face myself better so I can be a better person? All right. So then after I reflected on that, what about the evening time? So sometimes like in the daytime, I go through experience. And then when you get home, you meditate on all the experiences that you experienced. And then you look in and you evaluate yourself. What could you have done? Did you, did you win or did you lose? Or did you win some battles and lose some battles? And then after you meditate on, then the next day you know where your growth is and where you need to grow. So that's wisdom. So as you do that, then it comes a deeper reset that strengthens a long-term perspective about yourself and about your wisdom. So then you look at yourself, okay, what is my emotional intelligence? What do I look like in my behavior? What is the thing that I feel spiritually about myself? All that is like some type of wisdom that grows when you connect different ideas that you have across all the you know aspects of your life. you know how do I want to be spiritually, physically, mentally? Once you put all those things in perspective as you face yourself, and how would you like to be and look and act, and then you see the difference. Like, okay, if I'm walking my walk and I go through an experience and now I come up on a test or a trial, how did I experience that? Did I pass that test? Or did I get flustered? Or did I let it irritate me? You know, did I, take my time before I reacted, my behavior? Or did I, actually just, lost it? Or what did I do? Did I experience that, and did put all my little knowledge and wisdom in perspective, and did I accomplish it, and did I master that? So that's our whole thing. We want to increase our wisdom and knowledge by putting different things in play. But every day, every morning, day and night, you want to self-evaluate. You want to look at what you have experienced, and then you want to evaluate it, and then you want to grow from that. All right. So as you experience your wisdom, you want to ask yourself, um, you know, what did you notice about yourself once you put that wisdom into play? What did you see yourself look like? Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. What did you see yourself look like? How did you feel when you aligned with your values, with your behavior? All of this have to do with your wisdom and your knowledge and your self outlook of what you want to be. Because when you come up with experiences and with other people, you can, that's like a test. Sometimes when I go through my experiences, sometimes I say, okay, Father, is this a test? Are you testing me? Okay. And then I really look back and like, okay, yes, I'm going to pass this. And then I learn to like just take that minute and take that, time just to sit back and answer correctly, because I know, maybe this is something to help me. Trials and tests, trials and tribulations come against you in order to make you strong. Okay. So will you be able to pass this? And then it makes you feel so good when it gives you strength. Like, yes, I did it. I mastered it. I'm wise now, because that failure that I failed last time, I didn't fail it this time. I passed this test. So that gives you wisdom automatically. All right. So practice how you feel. What might that you need to do to yourself in order to make you feel that way. How could you respond with compassion on certain situations about your wisdom, okay? And you have to think about that. So remember to always self-evaluate. You meditate on it day and night. So whatever you experience your day, you look at it and you evaluate, say, what could I have done better? What could I have done better for myself? It's not about everybody else or whatever. It's about you growing, you facing yourself, you being a better you. All right. So as you reflect, you want to look at your goals, your values, and the person you're becoming, right? So what will matter to you in the next week, the next month, the next year? How often are you giving, or how long are you giving yourself to meet, your perspectives or your destination, in order to, because this is a lifestyle change. This is not just facing yourself, is not just something like a New Year's resolution that everybody do at the beginning of the year. Everybody start to go on a diet. At the beginning of the year, they set whatever, all these resolutions, but then like the next week is gone, you know. So here we're not setting resolutions, we are setting lifestyles, we're setting goals for ourselves that we can reach. All right. And then we give ourselves grace in between, because if we didn't make it, at least we coming back and self-evaluating ourselves. That way we can like, okay, look, maybe I do this differently. Then that way I can work on myself more. And then like, okay, well, maybe I change this about it. And let me go at it and see if this will work. And see, this is what it's all about. It's about self-growth, facing yourself to be a better you. Okay. And this is a lifestyle. This is not just something that you're doing because it's the beginning of the year. No, this is not a resolution. This is a lifestyle. All right. So let's see. If you want to kind of like tailor your routine, you have to practice or you write down whatever you want to do, whatever you want to seek, whatever you want to input in yourself. So whatever knowledge, wisdom you want to input, if you want to read a book, if about, growth, about, being a better you, about, something to help you be you. You have to put that into practice. You just can't like, oh, I want to do this. No, plan the work and then work the plan. All right. Because things just do not just happen. And our mind have so many things, and we so busy so much to the point that we say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. But then sometimes those ideas, they fall along the way. So you always want to, set yourself, have your calendar, like I told you, have your journal, and you go for it. All right. So just make sure that you learn how to actually build your wisdom, learn to pause and learn to reflect. So wise people don't rush. Remember that they create a tiny gap between stimulus and response. And that gap is where you have clarity in your lives. Okay. You be honest with yourself. Have a reality that, okay, this, I did not know I was like this. You didn't see the real you, because sometimes we don't see ourselves. Sometimes I don't see myself. People are like, oh, you like such and such. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But really, I didn't know that that was in me, a part of me, or I was like this naturally. Okay. But once you find out about you, do you want to change? You want to let that go? Or do you want to carry on? Do you want to keep it? Okay. That part is totally up to you. It's about, growth, growing into you, the better you. All right. So make sure you listen more than you speak. You seek truth, not validation, and you study widely. So don't just, keep yourself in a box or study just this particular spirituality or whatever. Just have an open mind. And then whenever you build yourself or you create a better you have to be okay, and you have to be solid about your beliefs, what you believe, what you stand for. That is your wisdom. You are building you. So some things you want to take out because it just does not look good on you. And then some things you want to add. And the other things you want to keep because that is you. And you're cute. We like you, kind of thing. But if you don't like you or whatever, you trying to act like this just to entertain others or for others to like you, that is not good, because eventually that's going to fall along the way, and or you're going to just get tired of trying to pretend. So you want to be a natural, relaxed you. So evaluate yourself and be you if that's what you want to be. And it's beautiful to be just naturally. That way you don't have to think or pretend or act this way around that person or that way around the other person. You just naturally be you without thinking. And it's so beautiful because you don't have to wear all these different hats, and it's gorgeous. It's lovely to be, I call it freedom. All right. So after you reflect on all your experiences, then you want to make wise choices about all these experiences, about the knowledge as you reflect it. All right. So then you ask the question, what does today teach me? So as you went throughout your day, what did you learn from yourself today, or from your situation, or from your work day? It's always going to be a message in each day, of what it learned you. Even they say, okay, well, not the food with this person, or oh, if I don't eat this, or if I eat this, how does it feel? How do I react? And those things like that can help you a long way. That's wisdom. If you know you eating this and you know it makes you feel bad, that's just knowledge without wisdom. But there is wisdom there, because now the wisdom come in what you said, using the tools. You're using the tools correctly, because now that you know it makes you feel bad, why would you want to keep doing it? The tools is not to keep doing it. All right? You're using it correctly by not doing it. All right? I want to thank you so much for being in the chat and giving us all kinds of wisdom and knowledge. And I want everyone to come on in, experience this, and add to, because there's no right or wrong. This is wisdom and knowledge for each other. Sharing is caring. We are here to share and care wisdom and knowledge and understanding in order to help us be a better us. All right? This is the way, the truth, and life, because life be life in. So you're here on this inspirational journey to find out more in order to help you be a better you. All right? So this is all about how to have wisdom and how to develop this wisdom. All right? So you want to stay humble, and humble keeps your mind open. Arrogance always shut the mind down and doors on growth. If you're so arrogant, you think that you know everything and no one could add to or whatever, you done shut a door. Because just like here, we have comments. Continue to make the comments to keep rolling. We have comments and people in our chat giving us wisdom and knowledge and understanding about how to help us and how to for us to have a better understanding of life. All right, in order to help us along our way. So, what matters to us, not just in 5 minutes, but in the next 5 years? Where do you want to be in the next 5 years, in the next year? Okay, but you have to be realistic about and take steps. It's not going to come overnight. Just take steps by steps, day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour, in order to help you be a better you. Don't be so hard. Don't try to go so fast, because Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. So, and so with this world. This world was not built in a day. Those days was like 1,000 years to a day, and a day is like 1,000. A day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is like a day. Sorry about that. So yeah. So continue to stay on board, stay in, and we are here to help each other along the way. So have there any more other things that we want to talk about in this chat? So I would like to know, what is it that will help you in this wisdom of how to have wisdom? That's a question. What is it that can help you have more wisdom? All right. For one, we can read the word. The word is nothing but a book of wisdom. It's all kinds of knowledges within there, but if we don't apply it, we won't be wise. Okay, more reading. Yes, more reading. More reading. And like they said, more reading, and not just the Bible. They have other philosophy books, psychology books, science, pretty much all of that works together. And I know people don't want to hear this or understand this, but a lot of the science and other stuff always validates, the word. It makes the word true, even though they want to say, oh, it's science, but science makes the word true, because if it was not for the word, or for God creating life, even though people may not believe in God, if it was not for God and all his creation, and all science do is just validate that life had been life and way before we even came, that God was a spirit. God is a spirit, and he had created all this way before time. And before time started being timed, there was no time. So science also said that the earth is like thousands and thousands of years old, and we just on the level 2,000. But they said some things have been here 4,000 or 5,000 years, but that just go to show you that there was no time before sin came along, or the code was broken because of disobedience. So yeah, that's where that is. So if we don't have any more questions, our time is up. And always stay tuned into this inspirational journey as we go to and fro on this earth, just to learn a little bit more of how to face ourselves, how to face not only ourselves, but the enemies that we have within or without, and then facing our future, because we do want to go forth to be a better us. All right. So always stay tuned. Peace and loving to you, and blessings. Have a good one. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is awesome. So always come back and stay tuned. We will see you Tuesday, right? So make sure you be Tuesday here at 5. Blessings unto you. Have a good day. Bye.